Hey, it's Dr. Wander back at you. I had a patient this morning, and basically I went over the fact that they were a type 1.5 diabetic. And they said, really? I never really heard of that before. And I'm like, didn't you watch my live presentation? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, I talk about it in there. And they said, well, they missed it. Anyway, so there are many types of diabetes. Now, the ones that you are most familiar with are type 1 and type 2. Type 2, if you're diabetic, you probably think you're that type, and you might be. Then there's type 1. Type 1 is an autoimmune disease, actually, where your pancreas has been attacked and it cannot produce insulin. And so that type of patient is always going to be on insulin. So therefore, that's not really a reversible disease, because the definition of reversing diabetes is, you were diabetic, but then you get your A1C 5, 6 or below, and your blood sugar is running between 85 and 99. And then the key point of not on any blood sugar medications. So anyway, I discussed with them that, and they're like, well, how many types of diabetes are there? And I'm like, well, there's a gajillion. There's not a gajillion, but there's a lot of different types. But there's 4 main ones. And the ones you've heard of, like I said before, type 1 and type 2. Then there's type 3, which is AKA also known as Alzheimer's, which you probably heard of. And then there's type 1.5. Type 1.5 means you have an autoimmune disease. And the autoimmune disease is causing your inability to regulate the blood sugar. So you're not a type 2 in that instance, you're a type 1.5. The problem is this, is that if we lined up 1,000 people who we knew they had an autoimmune disease and we asked them, hey, how many of you guys know you've been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease? Approximately 7 to 10 out of 1,000 would know. So it's a very low percentage. Now, why haven't you heard of type 3 if you haven't heard of it? Why haven't you heard of type 1.5 if you haven't heard of it? Why haven't you heard of any of the other types because I'm not mentioning them? The reason is, this is my opinion, is because there's no medication they can give you if you have one of these other types, right? If you have type 1, they can give you insulin. If you have type 2, they can still give you insulin, but they can give you pills or other injections, right? But if you have these other ones, there's no medication. So why look into it? Why look under the hood? This is what keeps you in the blockbuster phase of care versus Hulu and Netflix, right? You're in the arcade, because if there's no solution to the diagnosis that I give you, why would I diagnose you with that problem? Anyway, to learn more, I'm having a free live presentation next week. I'll put the link somewhere in this video, and you can register and you can learn more. I guarantee you will learn more in the first 10 minutes. Or I'll just say this, you will learn at least 5 things that you have not heard before in the first 10 minutes of the presentation, or your money back. Well, the presentation's free, so there's nothing to give and there's nothing to get, but you will learn new things. So register. There's a limited number of seats, because the software that we use cuts it off. I don't know the number. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know the number. So register and keep the seat. Don't register. Please don't register and not show up. Like, that's just rude. Think about the person who really wants to show up, and you took their spot, and you know you're not going to make it, or you've signed up for 72 of my previous live presentations or taped and haven't shown up to one. Don't make it 73, please. Just go watch the taped one, okay? Which that has a limit as well. Okay, back at you maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.